5:54 here, Big 550 KTRS. Sundays at 5 o'clock on KTRS. There is we added a new weekend programming. You'd like to give it a little bit of love and welcome them to the Big 550 KTRS. David Rispoli, you're the director for the St. Louis Center for Hope. Thanks for joining us.
McGraw, thank you so much for having us.
And Monique Waldman is the host of the show. It's called Soul School. Monique, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you.
How did it go last Sunday?
It went great. We had a great time on our first show.
Any real great stories you'll be able to tell for the next 20 years?
Hopefully.
We have one story.
One
Go
story?
ahead, share that story, Monique. It's an awesome story about your son.
Oh, yes. Yeah, after the show viewed,
Right, aired.
my 14-year-old son, I asked him, I said, well, how did the show go? What did you think? And
Yeah.
he said, well, what does the number 81 mean to you? And I said, I have no idea. He said, that's the number of Mom. So
She was great. She was awesome, though.
I have some work to do.
She was
Tell
awesome.
that kid to walk a mile in your shoes. Holy mackerel. What's going on there? All right. So the name of the show is Soul School. What's the premise?
Yes. So Soul School was founded really from some of my personal experiences. I have been a caretaker for both of my parents for 9 years. They both passed from terminal illnesses. And what I found in the process of taking care of them is there was nothing to help family members and patients themselves in the way of emotional, spiritual support from diagnosis to hospice. So there was nothing really in between. Because you're diagnosed with an illness and you focus on that physical aspect of the illness.
Right.
And then, the focus is all on the physical care. And then if you're not cured or you become terminal, then the focus is on, well, when do we start hospice? And so I found that I was frustrated that there was no help for my sister and I,
Right.
out there. And I'm also a grief counselor, so I was experiencing this with my own clients, and
It's a great point because when you're diagnosed or when a loved one is diagnosed, how do you feel? What do you feel? How do you tell people? How do other people react to you? How do you go to work? You have to continue on with your day, but yet your father's dying, and how do you feel? And it's a whole bunch of emotions.
And the focus really is on that loved one, but for
Yes.
you to be able to cope with everything that's going on. It's really
Yes.
difficult.
Dave, what is the Center for Hope?
St. Louis Center for Hope is a place where we have an academy. It's geared towards people who are newly diagnosed with a life-changing illness. And frequently what happens, as Monique said, is that when you get the diagnosis, there's a whole lot of medical help right there. But what about the emotional help? And what about the spiritual help? And frequently you don't have access to that until you hit hospice. And then hospice, of course, does a wonderful job with that. But we wanted to provide support for people who are newly diagnosed with a life-changing illness to really provide that spiritual and emotional support that they might not find elsewhere.
So guests and calls and people call in with questions and comments and just sort of, I guess, they just love the fact that there are people who are going through the same thing they're going through.
Yes. And Soul School, really, it's a wellness program, and we offer tools in Soul School to really help people going through, any difficulty in life. It doesn't have to be an illness.
Sure, yeah. All right, so it's Soul School, Sundays at 5 p.m. here on the Big 550 KTRS. Anything else we need to know? Just tune in and lock off the knob?
You can check out our website, www.stlouiscenterforhope.com.
Yeah, and you need, Monique, to learn that there's a cough button.
Oh, I guess I do.
Great.
Now, lastly, okay, so the website once again is?
www.stlouiscenterforhope.com.
And it's Soul School Sunday nights here on the Big 550 KTRS. I have a message for your son. Okay?
Okay, what is that?
You go back to him and you say, does the word 35 mean anything to you? And he'll say no. And you say, that's how old you're going to be when I finally let you out of this house again.
I will do that. I will tell him that.
All right. You tell him walk a mile in your shoes. This isn't as easy as it looks.
No, it is not.
Right, exactly.
It is not.
It's really hard. It's not brain surgery.
And it was your first show.
Right. Do you know what I did?
Yes.
Oh, with my very first show?
No, what
I
did
took
you
the
do?
tape and I threw it away.
Really?
I wanted no evidence
Well,
of that
I really
first
didn't
show.
want to listen to it. That's for
Right.
sure.
So I tossed it away and I said, someday I'm going to look at nope, I don't want to hear it at all. And I threw it away. So there you go. Sundays at 5 here on the Big 550 KTRS Soul School. Monique Waldman, David Raspoli, thanks for coming in.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
having
so
us.
much for having
And
us.
welcome to the team. It is 9 o'clock here, Big 550 KTRS Talk Radio, St. Louis.